Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy X the Creator coming back at you live with another Movie Monday. Today is January 26th. It's a Sunday. You guys will be viewing this on a Monday. But the two new movies I got for you guys this week, great movies. The first one is How It Ends, okay? And the second one is Day After Tomorrow, all right? Now, How It Ends came out in 2018, and Day After Tomorrow came out in 2004. So it's got a little gap, 14-year gap between the two. But these two movies have some similarities. And of course, it's differences as well. But we're about to compare them, and we're about to go over them and see how not only they're similar in, these movies have some similarities, some commonalities, but we're going to show you guys how we can bring that to life right here. Okay. Now, as far as how it ends goes, how it starts off. Now, how in the end starts off. It starts off with communication disruptions, like I mentioned in the previous video. If you guys haven't seen that, y'all go watch it. Now, communication disruption. The guy Will is the main character, played by Theo James. He goes to see his girlfriend's parents. He goes there to Chicago. Him and his girlfriend. They live in Seattle. He went to Chicago to go to have a dinner with her parents, and essentially just ask for their blessing. Right? He had a special topic to bring up, and he wanted, ask for their blessing. But while he was doing that, him and the dad, who is Forrest Whitaker, he plays that man. First of all, he's a good actor. I had to touch on that though, Forrest Whitaker. When you see that eye like that, well, you know it's gonna be a good movie. But he essentially goes to see his girlfriend's parents to ask for their blessings. But when he was getting ready to leave the next day, he was on the phone with his girlfriend, Sam. She is played by Kat Graham. She was on the phone, and all of a sudden there was a lot of commotion in the background. It sounded like it was like either like an earthquake or maybe like some kind of disturbance. Like it was some rumbling going on though. That's what it sounded like though, especially them being on the West Coast. So earthquake is not out of the question, right? Now he sees that, and she's just very distraught, and then phone cuts off. So obviously, as a boyfriend, he's gonna be a little worried, concerned for his girl, and he tries to call her, reach back out to her, no response, no network, no connection. Then he tells her parents that, and daddy gonna come save the day. He like what? So all that happened, and you know, he went to the airport, and he realized that all of the flights were getting canceled. All the flights were getting canceled. I mean, cancellation. It was just a domino effect. It was crazy. It seemed bizarre. So he went to tell their parents, and dad came into rescue mode, hero mode. So he packed a bag, and he was getting ready to get gone from Chicago to Seattle to go save his daughter. It was his only child, I believe he mentioned in the movie. Um, but yeah, so communication disruption, some kind of uh, natural disaster to an extent that we know of what is given to us in the beginning. Whether it might be like an earthquake, some kind of rumbling, could have been like some crash or whatever. Like I said, I'm not trying to spoil it for you guys, though. You should watch the movie. It's a great movie. But with that being said, they have to come together, and they go through this whole journey of obstacles in their way. They meet strangers, XYZ, and it's really good though. Like I say, it's a really good movie. Y'all should go watch that movie though. So that's the beginning though. So if I hopefully I got you at the edge of your seat just off that beginning though. So but it's a whole lot to even talk about after that though. But that's how in the end starts, right? Now as far as Day After Tomorrow, like I said, great movie. It came out in 2004. Dennis Quaid, who plays Jack Hall in the movie, he's a paleoclimatologist. Essentially, what it is, he studies the climate change. Now, he was in Antarctica, and there was a sheet of ice that fell into the water out there in Antarctica. And while he was doing that, he realized that it was a drastic shift in the climate from a global perspective, not just out there. It was a global perspective. after he realized that, he called like the government, one of the main guys in office, to be able to relay the message and let them know, hey, listen, this is what happened out here. This is what happened. We need to do something about it right now, you know, and something's got to give. Like, we got to do what we can to save some people. What can we do? And the guy tells him, save as many lives as you can. That's all he told him, right? So that's how drastic it starts off in the beginning, right? So after that happens, it's in Europe and Asia where there's golf ball, then basketball, up to anvil sizes of hail falling down on people. Yeah, people. And it's crazy. It's drastic. And then up in New York City, his son was actually there at the time for an event with his friends. His son's name was Sam. Ironically, they needed to be saved, just like in the movie. In the end, Jack Gyllenhaal, I believe. Let me see, Jack Gyllenhaal. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correct, though. But there he is, right there, though. He plays that role. And in New York City, those waves. Think about a wave, the ocean out there, as tall as the Statue of Liberty. That's right. There was a wave the size of the Statue of Liberty, all the way up to the torch, right? And from the shackles of the Statue of Liberty, because they got shackles. Think about that. It's another topic. All the way up to the torch, to the very tip top, is 151 feet. Now, if we're gonna go from the base, from the foundation, to all the way to the top, it's 300 and I think it's 306 feet. I think 305 feet. I'm sorry, right? That's how tall that is. Okay, so think about a wave the size of a Statue of Liberty. I mean, because it's already out of water, you know. Gotta take my glasses off for that one. That's how you see a wave that size. What you doing, first of all, man? That's crazy. So that's another natural disaster right there. The similarity between Indian and Day After Tomorrow. Obviously, one's more dry and the other one's more wet, and the other one's more kind of centralized to one location to an extent they're trying to get to, right? So after that tsunami happens, or wait, whatever you want to call it, people are forced inside into this library to be able to, try to live. You know what I mean? Try to fend off. Eventually, all that water freezes, and it's like an ice age. You know what I mean? It was like an ice age. It was crazy. You gotta go watch. Great movie. Day After Tomorrow. All right. So similarities I want to bring up within these movies is not only the natural disasters I want to touch upon with the similarities. One would be both of these main characters going across the country. Other one is world, to go save a loved one in this apocalyptic event. Right? Think about that. They both go through these extremes of natural disasters, right? Where in the end it's more like potentially earthquakes, fires. They went through storms. They went through the whole kid and caboodle, man. It was a lot. And then as far as Day After Tomorrow, same thing, where you get golf ball size hail to basketball size and anvil size hails, and it was crazy. And then the tsunami of that huge wave, that was the wave of the ocean. The Atlantic was as tall as the Empire, not Empire State Building, but Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is 150 feet tall, 151 for to be exact, something like that. And that's just from the shackles of the feet to the torch. If you want to get to the foundation from the base to the torch, that's 305, right? Those natural disasters, and sometimes, as bring that back to our reality, sometimes you might see those obstacles as like that barricade. We can't even see around and go through it, and these people went through that. They went through all these, this let's say chaos and turmoil to go be near, to be close to their loved one, with the similarity between those two, where there was not even trying to essentially save them. They just wanted them to be okay. Wanted to be near, be close to them, right? See if they were okay. During this apocalyptic outbreak that these movies are telling us about, showing us. Could be foreshadowing. I don't know. There's a lot of movies that kind of foreshadow this kind of plot. Makes you wonder where does the idea come from, right? Makes me wonder, makes me scratch my head. I don't know if y'all think about stuff like that too, or y'all just laugh at it. Ah ha ha, it couldn't happen in real life. But the producer made it for a reason. What were they like? They viewing it, they trying to show us something. Why are they trying to show us this? That's what I be thinking about. But during these apocalyptic events, ask yourself this question. If you were to put yourself in their shoes and all the stuff that they went through, not necessarily saying that we have to go through these things to be able to do what they did, be close to family, because we all are busy in life. Stuff happens, right? Sometimes it's hard for us to slow down life because we live in this fast-paced Western culture over here in America, and sometimes it's tough to see that we can be able to slow down. But would you go through that to be near, be close, save a loved one? What would you do? Would you do that? Don't answer that. Think about it. Would you do that? Are you willing to put all of the stuff down that you got going on right now up and leave without coming up with an excuse, right? Because if you find any reason, well, I got to do, that's an excuse. Be honest with yourself, right? Just might as well just go ahead and tell yourself, no, you don't want to do it. Would you do it? Ask yourself that question, right? So there's a good similarity between both of those movies, though, with the main characters, that they were both willing to drop what they were doing during these crazy, chaotic, unprecedented things that's going on in their lives in the world to just go be near, be close to a loved one. Another thing that these two movies had in common was that the people, it was very chaotic, right? The people turned on each other. They turned on each other almost as if like the last week's movie review of The Purge, and I forgot the other movie. Don't we ain't talking about that right now. That's the past. Talking about this right now though. If you haven't seen the last week's review, go look at it. There was they turned on each other, right, in these movies, but there was a similarity of them turning on each other and also a difference between the two. So with the similarities of them turning on each other, the difference between the two was that in the movie in the end, it was very much more self-centered, right? I acquire, we acquire for ourselves, opposed to day after tomorrow, I acquire, we acquire for humanity, right? So there was deaths, a lot of sacrifices had to be made. It was inevitable to an extent. Um, it was sad, you know what I mean? And it's sad to see that whenever something like this happens in a movie. So if you have some sort of discernment up on it and you think about it, this actually could happen in real life too, because we're so unprepared for any kind of natural disaster, any chaotic or any unprecedented thing like this for to happen. Like if the grid, the power, all this stuff would just go off, we're so unprepared for something like this. Reason why? Because there's a lot of gatekeeping from the higher ups. They don't tell us certain things that they might know. They might know about it. Oh shoot, I gotta help my family out. Forget these peasants down here. You feel me? Why is that? Why are we not trying to help everyone out? Because the universal law of oneness, we're all one, right? We're all connected in a way. Universal law, go check it out. Go look it up. It's on Google. You got it. Shoot, Google University. Go Google it. You got TikTok too. Go TikTok it. You know. So why do we have a lot of gatekeeping here? So like in the end, it was like I said, it was more self-centered, right? And day after tomorrow, it was more like about helping humanity out, right? Helping the mass, the collective, right? And in the end, it was the main character Will. I mean, people was trying to, like I say, trying to obviously kill him at one point, kill his group or whatever. They was even trying to take his girl for them instead of being happy that he eventually found him. Right? They got together, but once there was a guy that helped his girl out, and was just selfish, opposed to like being happy that he traveled all this way from Chicago to Seattle. There's no service, no network. The grid's off. he had to go back to the old days. I mean, he had a map, map. Do y'all even know what that is? Map. We used to use them back in the day, right? Map, not a GPS, map to be able to get back, find the route, court. You know what I'm saying? Get on the right road to get to where he was going. They used that to find his love, right? And the guy witnessed that, and you could sense the jealousy when it happened, when they got reconnected, reunited. So that's another thing about that with that movie, Amongst Day After Tomorrow. It was very very well well thought out plot. It makes you wonder, like I was saying, what was these producers trying to show to us in these situations? Was it trying to show us what would humans act like whenever we get put in a situation like this? Because we're unprepared. We're not prepared at all for something like this, right? Not at all. Not the mass, not the people. At least we're not prepared at all for something like this. Nope. Mm-mm. Not at all. Not by a long shot. Not even a little bit. Okay. Now, one of the main differences, though, I did want to touch on was the like I said, the people came together and day after tomorrow, and in the end, they was more separate, more closed off to each other. Now, I want to piggyback off of that though with Will, the main character of In the End. I can be able to get into a conversation with the empath, the empathetic person versus the narcissist, right? The narcissistic person, right? Because Will, he was trying to lead with love, and some might even say he was a little naive, right? Leading with love, blindlessly leading with love, but he just wants people to essentially what an empath, what they're showing people, and I can resonate with Will on this one though, because like I feel like me personally, I believe that love wins in the end, regardless of if someone does you dirty, because I believe in karma too, because they'll get what they on quote, well, I guess if you want to say what they deserved in the end, but they'll get what's coming for them, and then that was their choice, right? Because the higher power sees it all. Now, Will, he was leading with love, and people burn him, right? Like I said, people tried to steal his gas, to try to steal his woman, right? And a lot of stuff. And people were trying to take advantage of him until eventually you do it so many times, because I believe you should lead by example opposed to worrying about the negative about, well, if I lead with love, they won't, you know, me personally, I don't think that's the way to change, because in order to change, you have to be the change. Or in order to see change, you have to be the change, right? And that's the plus one effect. In order to see change, you have to be the change. Look in the mirror. I'm staring at the man in the mirror. Oh, you feel me? I'm asking him to change his ways. What was that song telling us right there? Come on now. Now, with that with that being said, though, Will was trying to change not only himself but the world, and get people to see how he wants to be loved and how he wants to see love. And people took advantage of that until he found those people who could be able to resonate with that. And that was appalled. I was like, this man really want to help me out and won't during these times? And yeah, people are like that, but like I say, that's the selfishness going into like the ideology that we're, like I said, we normalize that here in this Western civilization, over this Western culture. It's normalized, and it's sad, you know. But with that being said, with the empath, they lead with love, and the narcissist, they can be able to feed off of that, and they see that, and they can be able to manipulate that empath to get what they want for their gain. Until the empath sees how that narcissist is moving, and if they want to change, they can. If not, they'll eventually, the narcissist, I believe, will eventually get what they deserve based off of how they were moving, because the Most High will see that. And well, yeah, I mean, like I say, Will was trying to lead with love, and people was just taking advantage of him. And I feel like if we thought more like Will as a collective, opposed to saying like, well, they ain't gonna do that. Well, if we worry about the negative, that's what we gonna see. Right? Whatever you believe is true. Simple as that. Whatever you believe is true. Whether you believe it is or it isn't, you're right. Right? Now, but yeah, what the difference between that, like I say, it was one was more focused on self and other was more focused on humanity. And if something like this were to happen here in America or even the world, how do you think we would all react, guys? How do you think we would react? What do you think we would do? Think about if something like this were to happen. Think about the higher powers. Do you think they will gatekeep? There's information out there that the masses know until after the fact. But until then, this Monday's movie review on day after tomorrow, and in the end, two great movies. You guys should watch them. But until then, I'll see you guys next week. Y'all take care. Peace.